Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dojo, the series where I teach men life lessons necessary to survive in a gynocentric world. Before we get started, here's some quick advice from men of all ages. Number 1, consume less calories than you expend. If you don't do this, you'll gain weight and suffer the many illnesses associated with obesity. I've been obese, so trust me, I know. Number 2, you'll always be criticized, but when someone criticizes you, ask yourself the following questions. Do they sign your paycheck? Do they give you a grade? Do they suck your dick? If the answer is no, then their opinion and criticism doesn't matter. This is the core of internal validation. Internal validation is a required life skill every man needs to survive in a gynocentric world. Number 3, exercise at least 3 times a week. If you can't afford a gym, do stretching and body weight strength training. These exercises can be done anywhere and will definitely make you healthier and stronger. Number 4, everything in moderation. This includes being online. If you're on Twitter every waking hour or watching YouTube all the time, you need to get away from the screen. You need friends and social connections in real life, offline, more than you need them online. Number 5, never invest in anyone who doesn't invest in you. When those around you stop investing in you, stop investing in them and move on, or you'll risk getting used. Getting used is the hallmark of a cuck. But make no mistake, even a trusting red pill man gets used. Always trust but verify. And remember, never trust what you cannot verify. Which brings me to the subject of this video: success porn cosplay and red shield dating coaches. Have you noticed that over the last year or two, there's been a steady rise in extremely fit and possibly ambiguously gay dating coaches? It's like the internet got invaded by former church pastor refugees who lost their jobs because their churches downsized thanks to the rise of social justice degeneracy. Even worse, these red shills don't even believe what they advocate. They're just wannabe YouTubers out to make a buck. Recently, a fellow red pill YouTuber told me he was trying multiple channels to see which one made him the most money. His red pill videos were a marketing exercise, not because he wanted to help anybody, but to see if they made him more money than his other types of videos. These red shills even have costumes. There's one YouTuber I know that runs around in his mom's bathrobe and mirror shades, as though he's a gay fluffer from Fight Club preparing to receive a bukkake chokeslam. Then there's the fraud who looks like an ambiguously gay aging hipster. And we can't forget the legion of close-cropped or bald-headed internet tough guys who advocate shooting steroids or are such genetic bitches that they brag about getting testosterone therapy shots, probably orally with sperm, in the bathroom of their local gay bar. Often these shills are the vegans of the Brazilian jiu-jitsu community, always bragging about how they intimately groped a guy they later secretly hate-fucked. And we can't forget the most important piece of the red shill uniform: the perfectly coiffed, I'm secretly a lumbersexual beard. Hat tip, Grizzly Rising. Nothing says I like guys more than women in 2019 than a lumbersexual beard. Yet this is the guy who's going to teach you, for the low, low price of thousands of dollars, how to bang women. Seems legit. However, the one thing these shills have in common, like women, they run in packs. They cross-market each other so much, you gotta wonder if they've been to a few circle jerks together. They often ride the coattails of others through group live streams, often never making any content of any kind outside of this. Here's a spoiler alert. Predatory shills, dark triads, and narcissists are devoid of emotions other than anger and scorn. So they need to live stream with others who actually have empathy to mirror their emotions in order to make them seem more personable and less predatory. The reason these shills don't get called out more often is because of the red pill blind spot. It's when someone claims to be a masculine or red-pilled man, we just assume they're telling the truth. Want another sign of a red shill cuck? They're easily triggered, especially by men going their own way. Now, I'm not talking about the cult of personality and red pill rage drama queens that currently rule the MGTOW community. Nor am I talking about the wannabe incel cult leaders fantasizing the world ending. You know, The adult children who virtue signal bum fighting their way into emasculated supremacy over women. MGTOW is about living free from female validation, not desperately hoping to enslave them. No, when I discuss men going their own way, I'm discussing single men who choose not to cohabitate with women and those who avoid marriage. Men who promote healthy masculinity, healthy femininity, and vocally support limited government. You see, when you mention actual MGTOW men to red shills, they lose their fucking minds. These cucks even form circle jerk live streams for the express purpose of shaming actual MGTOW men. Why? Well, in part, it's because most actual MGTOW men are more masculine than most of the men around them, including the red shills who hate them. However, more importantly, it's because these red shill men are attempting to sell life coaching and success porn. Here's the problem. Much of what these red shills are selling is regurgitated publicly and freely available MGTOW content from 3 to 10 years ago. These red shills repackage it in tribal tattoos and success porn cosplay and sell it to insecure men who just want to touch a vagina. In fact, at the beginning of this video, I provided advice that many red shills charge for. Being a healthy man isn't rocket science. Yet these shills pretend they're the gateway to secret masculine wisdom that has been common knowledge since ancient times. And insecure men buy into it. Most of the women who hang out with these red shill men are either desperately promiscuous single moms, escorts, or prostitutes who are paid for their time. However, sometimes they're just lonely post-wall, high-mileage thoughts desperately seeking a winning ticket for one last ride on the cock carousel. And don't get me started on the new breed of millennial red shill tradcons who act like entitled denizens of Silicon Valley. These guys are often newly married or new fathers. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't oppose those who are married, and as a father and a grandfather, I don't oppose fatherhood. But let me remind everybody of a few things. I worked in family law, exclusively in high-conflict cases for well over 10 years. I saw what divorce does to a man up close and personal. I married twice, divorced twice, winning custody of my children both times. I was a single father for over 8 years. So not only did I go through it personally, I worked as a veteran industry professional, and the divorce rate in the United States is close to 45%. If you're a successful man, be careful of the Me Too false allegation movement. Also beware of sperm jacking and being trapped with a child. And let's not even get into the women who extort, blackmail, and falsely accuse a man of DV and destroy his life. Red shills dismiss all of these very real dangers to men, often by claiming MGTOW men are risk adverse. While this is true, I think most men are risk adverse to having over 50% of their gross monthly paycheck garnished to pay for an ex-wife who's cheated on them. To be clear, this is a threat to wealthy men as well as poor men. I mean, seriously, how many multi-millionaire men can afford the lifestyle they live today if 50% of their gross income was given to a woman who wouldn't commit, let alone fuck them? Many men who go through divorce end up in bankruptcy court. They often lose their jobs, their friends, and their reputations. And sometimes they even end up homeless. Yet, bring any of these concerns up to a red shill, whether an ambiguously gay PUA tryhard or a jobless pastor newly married tradcon, and they lose their fucking minds. Because these extremely uncomfortable truths destroy the red shill's narrative, and more importantly, their profitability. You see, other than sell success porn and affiliate market masturbating each other, many of these red shills have nothing to offer. Next to none of them can tell you what made them embrace the uncomfortable truths about the impact that feminist ideology has had on multiple generations of modern women. This is because, in reality, they're the carpetbaggers of the manosphere, selling hopium and success porn to insecure men. They say, "Just pay me thousands of dollars for my red shill life coaching, and you too can touch a vagina today. In fact, if you order in the next 10 minutes, you'll touch 2 vaginas. I guarantee it." Now, the reality is, the only vagina these red shill customers will likely touch will be the mangina of the coach who sold it to them. All the while, putting themselves in harm's way, ignorantly thinking they're going to maintain frame and out-alpha the family law judge, the police department, and the criminal court system after their lives get wrecked by false allegations these red shill coaches never warn their customers about. So if you want to be a pay pig to a Manosphere carpetbagger red shill coach who only cares about your money, by all means, go for it. But never say you weren't warned. This dojo lesson on red shill dating coaches is your dose of misandry today.